yet we were seduced by the promise of money and speeding up time. I remember her encouraging me to go, how she said it would take me 5 years in London to earn what I could in 2 in New York. She was right, of course, but I'm not sure now that the money was worth it. It feels like we lost something of ourselves in those years, like we stretched ourselves so thin we stopped being real. But our house is real, and maybe that's the point. The equation could make me feel dizzy. 2 years in hell equals a 4-bedroom house in Clapham. It sounds like a joke when you put it like that. Sounds like nothing anyone sane would sell their soul for. But the fact remains that it exists. It will wait for us without judgment. It will remain. I employed a house hunter when I knew I was coming home, whom I always pictured stalking the streets of London with a gun in one hand and a few houses slung over her shoulder, blood dripping from their wounds. She sent me endless photos and details as I sat at my desk in New York, which I would scroll through until the images blurred before my eyes. I found I didn't care much what I bought, but I was very specific in my requests because I knew that was what V would want. I was careful with the location and also the orientation. I remembered that the garden had to be southeast facing, and I insisted on it being double-fronted because V always thought they were much friendlier looking. There are rooms on either side of the hall, rooms which, as a child, I simply didn't know existed, but which V taught me have peculiar names: a drawing room and library, although I've yet to fill the bookcases and I have no plans to become an artist. The kitchen/diner, as estate agents love to refer to any large room containing cooking equipment, runs the entire back length of the house. The previous owners pushed the whole house into the garden by 5 feet and encased it all in glass, with massive bifold doors which you can open and shut as easily as running your hand through water. Underfloor heated Yorkshire stone runs throughout this room and into the garden, so when the doors are open you can step from inside to out without a change in texture. Bringing the outside in, Toby the estate agent said, making my hands itch with the desire to punch him. And really, they've extended the floor space by the whole garden area, he said meaninglessly, pointing to the sunken fire pit and hot tub, the inbuilt barbecue, the tasteful water feature. He was lucky that I could already imagine V loving all those details, otherwise I would have turned and walked out of the house there and then. And that would have been a shame, as upstairs is the part I like best. I've had all the back rooms knocked together and then repartitioned, so we have what Toby would no doubt call a master suite, but is actually a large bedroom, a walk-in wardrobe and a luxurious bathroom. I chose sumptuous materials for all the fittings, silks and velvets, marbles and flints, the most beggingly tactile of all the elements. I have heavy drapes at the windows and clever lighting, so it's dark and sensuous, and bright and light in all the right places. At the front of the house are 2 smaller bedrooms, and in the roof is another bedroom and ensuite, leading to a roof terrace at the back. Fantastic for guests, as Toby said. I've also taken great care over the furnishings. A tasteful mix of modern and antique, I think you'd say. Modern for all the useful things, like the kitchen and bathroom and sound system and lighting and all that. Antique for all the totems. I've become a bit of an expert at trawling shops and sounding like I know what I'm talking about. And I found a field in Sussex which 4 or 5 times a year is transformed into a giant antiques market. People from Eastern Europe drive over huge lorries filled with pieces from their past and laugh at all of us prepared to part with hundreds of pounds for things which would be burnt in their country. You're meant to bargain with them, but often I can't be bothered. Often I get swept away with it all. Because there is something amazing about running your hand along the back of a chair and finding grooves and ridges and realizing that yours is only one of so many hands which must have done exactly this. I bought a cupboard last time, and when I got it home and opened it, there were loads of telephone numbers written in pencil inside the door. Marta, 03201. Cozzy, 98231, and so on and so on. It felt like a story without a beginning, middle, or end. They struck me as possible workings of a private investigator, or even clues in a murder case. I had imagined having it stripped and painted a dark grey, but after I found the numbers, I left it exactly as it was. With flaking green paint and an internal drawer which sticks whenever you try to open it. I've become attached to the rootlessness of the numbers. I like the thought that none of us will ever know what really happened to these women, or to the person who wrote down their numbers. But I'm not sure what V will think about the cupboard. Perhaps she'll want to smooth the numbers away. The colours on the walls all belong to V. Lots of navy blues and